So I look at this week's schedule, and I honestly don't see that there's going to be a lot to go into this video, so it should be relatively short, right? I was actually never a big fan of The Office, but I don't dislike any of the actors that were in it. It's really my sense of humor, but the sum of its parts is much greater than the whole, I guess. I don't know. Before I start talking about what is going to happen, let me once again review the weekly announcement to show you that yes, I made one, and yes, I posted it. It should be pretty straightforward, so just take a look at the formatting, which is the same as always. The video you're currently watching will be linked there, as will the glorious chapter listing underneath it, to see what you have to do for this week. Okay, and then we have all this information here, so we're going to be talking about that. But if we want to see what we're going to be doing this week, we click on View the Course Schedule, we get up to this, we can scroll down to week 3, and we can see, oh, wow, we're talking about APA. Ooh, isn't it exciting? Told you there wasn't much. It's probably all on you this time. You have to craft the paper from the plan that you already submitted, and, well, submit that. The only real review is the material of APA formatting specifics, which is, I'm 99% sure most of you will skip wholesale because you'll elect to use what you need and ignore the rest. Why would I believe that? Because I know things about pigeons, Lily. Oh, and by the way, if you know what that reference was, please email me and let me know, because I might give you extra credit or something for getting one of my favorite throwaway lines from a 90s movie. Anyway, the real reason I say most of you will skip this is because even in class, I can see the students fade away as soon as we start talking about APA. I get it. I just want to show you the best places to get the material, okay? All right, so let's talk about that. Clicking on this first link here, APA Reference Guide, takes you to this page. It's cute. Okay. It's got stuff here. Click on it and you scroll through it and you can see like videos and all sorts of different things that are in there. But honestly, I really don't think it does much, okay? It's better than it used to be without actually being great yet page, right? I would encourage you to read through it and look at the material, but I'm going to show you 3 other pages that are actually much stronger than this one. Where do we find them? Go back to the announcement, okay? Scroll down to the read, and you'll see the links right here. I actually have 4 because they added one. But here it is. So let's take a look at that. So you can actually find all the links right here. And the first one is going to be the APA Style Quick Reference Guide, created by the Delaware Tech Library. And it is indeed for you, okay? It's lovely. You are the intended audience. And you can go through and see all of the really popular questions about APA and what kind of format you need, what your title page should look like, the in-text citations. So these are all going to be there in case you need to just look at it really quickly and move forward, okay? That might work. However, I like this one better. The Delaware Tech Library Color-Coded APA Citation Style Guide. Okay, I have been looking at this forever and ever. I have used this since I started teaching at Delaware Tech 20 years ago. So, this, still another one, is a color-coded citation style guide that the library put together decades ago, and they have updated and revised it every time something new came up in the world of research and APA. It's my #1 go-to document. I am actually quite ashamed that the English 102 page doesn't actually carry this very clear link any longer. As you can see, you can scroll through and get citation and reference formatting for all of the most popular reference sources, websites and podcasts, and here's books, right? Most of you won't even use the books, but take a look. All the authors are going to be in red. All the years are going to be in green. All the titles of the books are going to be italicized and in purple. All the publishers are going to be in orange. But we don't use books, right? Reference books? Well, maybe, but probably not. Periodicals, okay, maybe you might find a magazine. That might work. Or a journal or a newspaper. Okay, but wait a second. Here we are, bottom of page 4. Now we're talking what you want, right? The internet. Here it is. So we have internet sites right here on page 5. We have electronic or online databases, which you will be using, right here at the top of page 6. We have online periodicals. not gotten through electronic databases. We have online books like ebooks. We have social media, Facebook, Twitter, or X, and Instagram, okay? We can actually cite podcasts. We can cite YouTube, TED Talks. We can have interviews, emails, maps, for God's sakes. Whatever you need, it's right there. So they all have it there. Very quick, very easy. It's very wonderful. It'll even show you how to put together an in-text citation, both narrative format and parenthetical format. It is really worth printing out, especially if you have a color printer. Next, we have the American Psychological Association's APA Style Guide. Now, the APA Style Guide was literally created by the American Psychological Association. So if you need the answer to a question, it will be on this page. If it doesn't exist on this page, then you didn't think your question out hard enough, because these are the people who created it. We'll click on Style and Grammar Guidelines, and we can take a look at paper format, tables and figures. Oh, in-text citations and references. These are the ones you want to pay attention to, okay? And if you want to figure out how to get better in certain other elements, we have grammar, mechanics of style, bias-free language, and so forth. Now, it does read a little bit like stereo instructions because it's a little confusing in terms of just straightforward. It's not written for students. It's written for people who kind of know what they're looking for, okay? So they don't take into account the early understanding of APA. They just expect you to kind of know things. Since that's the case, I want to show you the last one here. And yes, there is one more. See, you aren't old enough to remember this infomercial, are you? Or any infomercials. This guy ruled the airwaves. Stupid OxyClean Billy Mays. Anyway, I just had to fit that in. So we do have one more link. Purdue University's Online Writing Lab, or the O.W.L, or the OWL. Get it? It's a dad joke. Just suck it up. So anyway, we click on that and we get to Purdue University's APA style page. This one was not written for the Delaware Tech student, but it was indeed written for a college student. So it's got everything that you need here. You're going to want to click on the APA Formatting and Style Guide, 7th edition, and then you have all of this material that you can go through. Want to know how to do an audio-visual media reference? We click on there. Bring it down. It's got all sorts, film or video in another language, a TV series, YouTube video, musical album, single song or track. Oh, look, a podcast. So all of that material can be seen here. It's actually quite easy to read through. And yes, you will actually see that they have the citation machine link here, the applet. It's not necessarily the greatest thing in the world because I've found that it does get things incorrect. And you will be, you will be held accountable for what's incorrect. So I wouldn't use that if I were you. I'd try to build it on your own, okay? So you can go through there and see the in-text citations. We don't use footnotes. And then all of these are references. So that will help you out quite greatly. So let's talk about the only thing that you have to submit this week, okay? This is the actual 3 to 4 page exploratory essay based upon the planner that you submitted last week. I have linked the directions and sample to the announcement. So going back to the announcement, here's the directions and sample right here under review, okay? It's right there, okay? So going back, we have this. Where was I? Oh, that's right. So please take a look at it. I'm going to go through it now just to really underline a few things. So if we go back here and we click on the directions and sample, we will see this document here, okay? Now, the requirements. It's got to be 3 to 4 pages. This is not me. This is college-wide. This is a requirement for the College English 102 class, okay? Everything has got to be formatted correctly. You need 2 well-chosen and evaluated sources. You're going to use third-person point of view as much as possible, with first person only when applicable to the author's specific ideas. You will not use second person at all. No, use yours or yourself, okay? And then down here we take a look at the structure. We have a single paragraph introduction. We're going to need an attention getter or a hook. We're going to need to explain a little bit of detail about your topic in case your reader may not have a clue what you're talking about, especially for those of you who really thought outside the box for your topic. And then you're going to give a purpose statement. I'm going to show you what the purpose statement looks like as soon as we get to the actual sample, okay? So just hold your horses. Then once again, we have our development or body. I prefer to call it development because, again, you are developing that thesis statement, okay? You're going to have your research methodology paragraph or your research questions and answers or whatever you want to call it. And that's going to be the first development paragraph. You're going to list off a minimum of 3 research questions. And you know what's really great about that? You already have 3 listed. You just go back to the second discussion board that you did, which then created the graphical organizer from last week, and then you continue to use those 3 research questions if you didn't find new ones. Once you list those off, you tell me which databases you search for, because remember, you need to start in the database. You cannot go right to Google. I can tell when you don't look at the databases. You can use Credo or EBSCOhost, the New York Times, SIRS. You can use all manner of the databases that we have access to. Remember this place? Student Success Toolbox, library, databases. You can use any one of these databases to find your source material, okay? And then after you've told me where you found the sources, tell me how you found them. What were your search terms, okay? And you will see this in a minute to see exactly how this paragraph should be formatted. Then you are going to have your 2 sources on display. You are going to have source number 1, summary, and source number 1, evaluation, as you can see right down here, okay? In the evaluation, I want to see as much mention of the CRAP test as possible. Remember, CRAAP, currency, relevance, authority, accuracy, and purpose. Hit all 5 of those points, and I'm going to show that to you in the sample. For the summary, remember that a summary should only be about 10% of the original source. So if your original source is only 100 words, your summary is like 10 words. So you want to find a source that's a little bit bigger and chunkier, okay? You're going to do that for source 1. You're going to do that from source 2. Then your final development paragraph is going to be a research reflection that's going to show us really what sort of ideas you had going in, what sort of ideas you had coming out, what sort of ideas do the 2 sources link together, and so forth. You're going to see this in the sample. It'll be a lot clearer, okay? Finally, you have your really short conclusion. Just tie everything up and tell me what kind of further research you're going to need. As you can see, a sample of the completed exploratory research essay appears on the next few pages. And here it is. This will be your title page. Make it look exactly like this, except change this to your title, change this to your name. For my name, just put that right here. And the due date is going to be February 1st, 2026. Do not numerically abbreviate the date. Don't put 020126. Spell it out. February space 1, comma, space 2026. That's it. Down here we have our introduction, we have our hook, and then as promised, here is the purpose statement right here. You can literally say the purpose of this essay is to utilize 2 representative sources to explore the issue of, and then go off on your own, okay? Use that as a format. I am looking for a purpose statement here. Then we have our research questions and process, or our research methodology, depending on how you want to look at it. Here are my 3 questions. You can see here that I have formatted them accordingly. 1, 2, 3. I did that so they stand out very easily, but they're unobtrusive, okay? We did that, and then I tell everybody where I found. Hey, look at that. I looked at EBSCOhost and SIRS. I also used Google Scholar. And then I searched on cybercrime, international cybercrime, state-sponsored cybercrime, international cybercrime treaty, and international cybercrime police. I did all of that. And that's the paragraph, okay? Then we have our summary. Make sure you give me the rhetorical information, title, year, author, and then thesis statement. All 4 pieces, title, author, year, thesis statement. should go in the beginning of the summary. As you can see here, there it is. As you can see down here, it kind of stretches into a little bit more, but it's still there. If you are going to use direct quotes from there, I would like you to put your in-text citations within there. It's very easy to create an in-text citation. It's author's last name, year of publication, and then the location of the information. If it's a paginated source, use the page number. If it's a web source, use the paragraph number. Then we go down to our evaluation of the sources and take a look. We have currency. We have relevance. We have accuracy and then authority, even though it should be the opposite. I don't know what I was thinking. And then we have purpose. We have all 5 pieces, and I explain exactly why this is a good source based upon the CRAP test. I do the same thing for the summary of the second source and the evaluation of the second source. Then I go into my research reflections, and I can use I here because they are my thoughts, and I'm trying to show what I thought, what I'm thinking, and why the 2 authors kind of agreed or disagreed. And then we have our conclusion to tie things up and move forward. Finally, our references page is going to feature a minimum of 2 sources. That minimum is the 2 sources that you chose for this paper. If you used additional sources in your evaluations, you're going to list them there as well. Okay? Sound easy? Now, there are several samples on the Brightspace page where if you go back to what is an exploratory research essay, you can actually see right down here at the bottom, here's the sample, you can download this and so forth. I think mine is better because it's exactly what I'm looking for. But honestly, the only one that matters is mine because I wrote it and I'm grading your material. Follow along and be led to the promised land, folks. Okay? And that's the major assignment. No problem, right? It's the only thing you have to do this week. Hopefully you're not doing it on Sunday night. That's it, my friends. Barely 2.5 pages in my script for the week. I count that as a win. Please look at the paper directions early in the week and let me know if you have questions. If not, then good luck. With that luck, wish me a solid weekend, okay? So I script the video on Friday morning, and I film it and edit it on Friday afternoon. So the snow hasn't even arrived yet. I then set it to automatically post on Monday morning. See, I plan ahead. So should you. Have a good one.